watching Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, Let Down. You're watching, you're like, what is going on here? I watched the first one, loved it, was amazing, it was new, it was exciting. I watched this one, I'm like, Sea of Monsters. I'm gonna see some Sea of Monsters. I see one monster and its teeth, that's it. No, nothing. This movie sucked. I was bored out of my mind the entire time. Special effects were also questionable at best. They looked pretty fake, especially when the metallical bull comes running in. I'm like, this looks like something from the 90s. You know, like when Star Wars, when the Rancor goes in, you can see like the black line, like that kind of bad. You're like, come on, really? Because you watched the first one, it was so good. This one was just bad. And I didn't care about any of the characters at all. I was like, yeah, I can care less about any one of you guys. It was badly written. Yeah, I didn't read the book. Okay, so I don't know how accurate it is to that, but if that was a book, I'd be like, this is a kind of boring book. All in all, the best part about this entire movie for me was Nathan Fillion. That was pretty awesome, seeing Nathan Fillion in here kind of do a Nathan Fillion thing. That was enjoyable. I laughed. I was like, oh, this guy, Hermes, awesome, good, loved it. But that's not enough to carry this sucker all the way through to be like, yeah. And the ending, Green Lantern ending, that's what it was. Total garbage. Like, really? This is Kronos, if you know your Greek mythology. Kronos is kind of a big deal. All in all, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. The only reason it gets a little bit above average for me is because I do like Greek mythology, I do like some of the things they did, but it was just boring. Did you like this movie?
I hated this movie. It was awful. Character development sucked. The drama was lackluster. I never laughed once.
Whoa,
there was not enough satyr. Because the guy who plays Al Pacino in the Tropic Thunder movies does an awesome job in the first one. This one, he wasn't that funny. They like totally cut him out of the whole movie. He was made the first movie. It's hilarious. The people the characters were not fun. They were not adventurous. It was boring.
Did you like the movie?
I did not. And I actually did my research. I watched the first one last night because I hadn't seen it yet going into this, and I enjoyed the first one.
Did we watch the same movie?
We did watch the same movie.
I enjoyed it, and I'm going to give a 10 rating system now because my stars are, whatever. It doesn't sync up with you guys, so I'm not special. Fight Club quote. I like that movie too.
We did see the same movie. It's just, I guess, your brain was more like colors.
That's not the...
What did you like about it then?
There were a lot of flaws, but I guess the music, the whole spirit and the heart of it, I guess.
What about the special effects? How'd you feel about those?
There's better special effects in the British version of Criminal. Fake dinosaurs were better than a multi-million-dollar blockbuster movie. Come on, we saw Jurassic Park in the 90s. We can do better, people. Do better.
I assume they didn't have as big of a budget as they probably needed to pull off the amount of special effects they had in that movie, but they weren't that great.
First one was better.
The first one was better, yeah, but there weren't as many special effects in the first one. Yeah, they were throwing stuff at you constantly. I mean, one of the characters, 50% of the movie, he has to use special effects just to be there. It was subpar. There are multiple times where you're like, it's not very good.
Yeah, technically there were a lot of flaws. The special effects were not that up to par. The water looked fake, and some of the jokes really fell flat. A lot of the gags, I could have done without.
But you still like this movie?
In general, like I said, I counted as many flaws about it as you guys did, but I don't hate it for it. I just look at general.
Oh, we didn't hate it. We just didn't like it.
I gave it a 4 out of 10. It's not even worth talking about anymore.
Well, I don't know. What about Nathan Fillion?
He was the best part. He was talking about a great show that it was canceled. The best show, and that's Firefly. Firefly was an awesome show. I will agree with that. Firefly was a great show, and that was a shout out to that show.
Was amazing.
Yes.
Was amazing.
I give it a 6 out of 10. But I only give it a 6 out of 10 because of Alexandra Daddario, which plays the daughter of Athena. That woman, anything she's in at this point forward, I want to see it. She's an amazing talent.
Well, I enjoyed it throughout. No, I didn't love it like, oh my gosh, this is an awesome movie. No, I enjoyed myself watching it. I could enjoy watching this movie again.
Better than the first one?
No. Technically, it seemed like a lower budget than the first one, like Nick had pointed out. That kind of distracted me a little bit. Like, that water looks kind of fake, and when they're riding the tide, that you can tell it's green screen. Look too fake. I'm sorry, I could do better than that, if I may say so myself. Out of 10, I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it had its flaws, but I enjoyed the story as a whole, and it left a good...
The story was poor,
and it doesn't matter. It's just the story itself. It's the idea.
They just recycled the same things from the
first
one.
It's the idea that I liked, and they left it open for a third one, obviously, because there's like 5 or 6 books, I think.
I know there's 4.
So They left it open for a third one and onward, and I look forward to what they come up with. And yes, Sea of Monsters, we only saw one monster in the sea. That is a flaw. 8 out of 10.
If you guys want to come see a free movie, go on ahead, let us know. We like having people comment down here. Questions, comments, concerns, like it, favorite it, share it. Also want to know, what do you think's better? Clash of the Titans or Lightning Thief? Those first two. I want to know what you guys think is the better one. See you next week for Kick-Ass 2. That movie should not disappoint. See you then.